Yeah, first of all, in our industry, actually, a lot of these regulations actually have their source very much at a global level. A lot of this comes out of Basel, and that's much more than the EU. So, there's more commonality on a global basis than one might think. But whatever we're going to build here, it needs to be sustainable and long-term sustainable. So I'm certainly not an advocate for a bonfire of the regulations. I think we should have appropriate regulation. It should be sustainable regulation.
Should it look like EU regulation, or should it look like American regulation?
I think we can shape it in our own image. I don't think it has to be fit for purpose. But I think we should be looking around the world and analyzing, and we should. So what are we trying to achieve? So with crypto regulation, who are we trying to protect? What are we trying to? What opportunities are we trying to create? What services are we trying to bring to the marketplace? And let's get a rule book that lets us achieve those objectives.
And I make one personal comment. As a sort of reformed regulator, one of my observations now that I'm on the outside, and Lord Hill knows this because I've told him the story, but I was Director of Market Oversight at the FCA on the first day that Apple was worth more than the FTSE 100.
Yeah.
And I sat there trying to think what I could do as Director of Market Oversight to address that problem. We need to have a capital market in the UK that is dynamic, that generates the very returns for the pension savers that are being looked after. And we need to be able to talk about it as a real world thing as well, not some esoteric thing that serves bankers, but fundamentally embedded in the real economy.
And a clear message is being sent by this legislation and what the administration is doing. The worst thing we could do is cause confusion, or by our own bureaucratic incompetence, limit what the Ukrainians can use. So I think Putin can continue to claim that this is escalatory, but I think we've called his bluff, and now we're in the process of providing everything the Ukrainians can use, as well as the training and new weapons and heavier weapon systems that they will be able to use in the future, now that they've shown their willingness to fight.
That's why the sanctions are so important. We got to continue and double down and make those sanctions even hurt more. We can't lose our resolve. And Mr. Zelensky has made that clear to us. We got to continue to go after all those that are responsible with sanctions. We have to make sure that Ukraine has all it needs to defend itself, so Russia knows that ultimately they're going to lose this military campaign. We have to provide the humanitarian needs for those who have been directly impacted by these atrocities. And yes, we've got to provide the defense capacities to other countries in the region that are at risk. I met yesterday with the president of Georgia. Believe me, Georgia recognizes that if Ukraine is not the only objective of Mr. Putin, he would love to take back the republics of the former Soviet Union, as well as move even beyond that. So we have to be concerned about Georgia. We have to be concerned about Moldova. And we have to be concerned about the Eastern Front of NATO, our NATO allies that feel very much threatened. And we saw the use of energy as a weapon against Poland this week by Mr. Putin. So we have to be prepared to help in defending our NATO allies, our non-NATO allies, to make it clear that we're in it for not just the short term, we're in it for the long term, so that we defend democracy in Europe.